presidents, I'm the secretary. There's a very important position in the alumni association, and that is of treasurer. Mukesh was here. He just stepped out. Oh, he just stepped out. So he has kind of just stepped out. He's the treasurer of the association, and you know why I'm introducing him to you. So now I just would take another minute in fact, to just read to you what the president has to say for this reunion. It says, respected seniors, Charan Sparsh, Farshi Pranam Namaskar. I wish I was here to personally congratulate you each one of you on achieving this milestone in your life, celebrating the golden jubilee of your entrance to IIT Kanpur in 1962. Heartiest congratulations and best wishes. IITK has a very special place in our hearts. Your batch has a special significance for me. I was entering IIT Kanpur when you were leaving, so you just missed the chance of ragging me. Of course, now that's an absolute no. There's no ragging. It's a completely different world that we live in now. As you savor the memories of the time that you spent during the 60s at the campus, you will realize so many things have changed. However, the spirit of ITK that we can do whatever we put our hearts to has remained intact. I know 2 or 3 days not enough to relive the years that you spent together with your fellow batchmates. So with some, you have maintained close contacts, but you may be seeing others after a long time. We look forward to your support and guidance to make the Alumni Association vibrant and relevant for the alumni and the alma mater. I have another request, which basically says that, okay, please do encourage people of your batch and possibly the other batches whom you would have been in touch with to join the association. In fact, they are all members of the association, but be more active with the association, engage with the association, as Eric has pointed out. Through that, engage with the institute. So that's the message that I have from the president of the association. And now I invite Shashi Singhani to say a few words.
Distinguished alumnus in our batch, all our friends, all the ladies. We met together 10 years ago, in 2002, our 35th year reunion. At that time, Professor Khande had just taken over. And this year, when we are meeting again, a grand jubilee, we're going to the last 10 years we have seen IIT grow tremendously in the last 10 years. There are new buildings, there are a lot more students. The campus is much more beautiful. The people are much more friendly. And I'm sure in the next 10 years, when we perhaps are just barely able to walk, Professor Manna would have created even better campus with more departments and a better environment for everyone. As for this reunion, we tell you that the Alumni Association with Professor Mishra, DRPG, the entire staff of Alumni Association has been wonderful in helping and in proposing what is to be done, how it is to be done. And as you've seen, they put lights on all over. It looks like Diwali. But they've done a great job. And I do thank from our hearts Professor Mishra, Alumni Association Director, for giving us this welcome. And we hope to have a good time over the next 2-3 days. No, it's also a coincidence that this year we have 4 deans. They are all from IIT Kanpur, which is a coincidence. And I hope this gives another 10 years of IIT Kanpur a much better environment. One thing I would request the director, look into the possibility of changing the situation at the gate. Yes. Everything else, we go to Kanpur, which is a horrible experience to begin with. And then when you enter IIT, the gate doesn't look like IIT. I do not know what you can do, but maybe the land around the gate can be purchased and hopefully make a nice gate like even DLF or OMAX or they all have in the townships. I do not know what is the impediment to that, but if you can, that would be a great.
And you'll be surprised to learn that this was also my first impression, because I also am coming back after so many years. And even the kind of gate I remember that existed at that time, compared to that, this looks fairly almost shadowed.
It is absolutely, it's just not I. So please do something about it. Friends, let's have a good time for the next 2-3 days. And everything remaining good. We'll meet again after a few years, maybe here, maybe wherever. And again, enjoy our reunion and have a good time.
The treasurer is there, so now I can introduce Christian Paul. He teaches here with the Department of Civil Engineering and is also serving as the treasurer of the association. I now invite Siddesh Shukla to say a few words.
Sudeep and Sashi, thanks for springing this on me at the last moment, 5 minutes ago. This is not what I was prepared for. I am not sure if I'm comfortable with all the spotlight on me, particularly when I'm sitting in front of such distinguished colleagues and friends who have done great things. Nevertheless, I'll celebrate being here. I celebrate being part of distinguished institution, IIT, that we love so dearly. Many of us have come from long distances. I'll celebrate the distinguished friends, and our friendship has lasted through all sorts of circus and discussions and opinions. But you know, the group of people that hang around in this batch are just incredible. So I'm thankful for having that distinguished company. Professor Manna, we love this institution deeply. I think everybody here has come and their families, all the ladies who have come here support us tremendously. I assure you that I can say that on behalf of all of us, our love and support for this institution will remain strongly both in deeds and probably something to help Mr. Sharma. So we will also like to encourage the students and graduates of this place. I think all of us are above 65, or 66 actually. We're the youngest, one of us is 66. And so we are at a stage where we feel that we can educate and mentor other students and try to help them. And at least tell them what our lessons learned were. The world has changed so fast that our lessons learned may not be valid anymore, but nevertheless, our love for the institution and love for the next generation is tremendous. So thank you for inviting me. But Sashi, I'll remember this.
Now, if I would like to invite somebody from the other friends in the group here, if they want to say a quick word or two, otherwise we proceed with the program.
Ravi? Ravi, I think
we have 10 minutes left.
yeah.
We can stretch, don't worry. Maybe we would like to hear how were the days in your time. Obviously, you would say it was much better, so how better it was?
Come on, Ravi. Come on, Ravi. Let's go.
Can I invite you please to say a few words?
Last week, I should not be reserved just for Dave. Somebody else should do it.
Yeah, step forward.
Who do I thank for springing this up? That's what should be, right?
But anyway,
get together, all of us. 10 years ago, the faces are still the same. I think the hearts are younger. Everybody is enthusiastic. I've seen the enthusiasm as everybody arrived. We met each other, and I'm quite confident. I know we've lost very dear friends, but I'm quite confident that 10 years from now, when we get together again, the spirit will still be the same and everybody will still be the same. Because one of the things is that 65 is not old anymore. When we were young, we used to think if we ever made it to 65, it would be a miracle. But right now, I think all of us think in terms of this still being a young age. And we've got lots of good years yet. And I echo what's being said here, that those years, one of the good ways to use those years is to help out our alma mater. And this may be a wonderful project you just suggested, which is the entrance to maybe our batch could take that on as a project. I have no idea what's going to cost. I have no idea what's involved, but perhaps in our session we can discuss it and see if it's something that we could sponsor, just like we did the park, Park 67, the Satsat Park, which I haven't yet seen, by the way. We decided in the last meeting, and then we'll be getting it tomorrow.
I've never seen the park open.
It's open.
Well, I've heard good things about the park. Whoever has seen it says it was really great. So maybe tomorrow morning, I know there both is an early riser. So maybe we can all wake up early and go for a walk. That would be something to do.
No, that's not a good idea.
Not a good idea. Yes, tonight might be a late night.
Some of us have a jet lag, so we get up early anyway.
That's right. But anyway, I do want to welcome you, sir, as the new director to the institution. It's always great, actually, to get a fresh outlook, which I see you've already taken in terms of looking at the institute and the types of things that need to be done. And rest assured, we'll all be supporting whatever initiatives you'd like to go ahead with. The good of IIT Kanpur is good to all of us, and we look forward to working with you in the coming years and to interacting with each other in the coming years. So, let's proceed. Thank you.
For the words and the gesture of coming up and speaking out, and also helping, promising to help the institute. That's a great gesture. We now would have in fact, I'll hand over the stage to Shashi Singhania ji now. And what we will do is, there is the ceremonial welcome to the people who attend this function by giving the sash. And there is a small gift for the wives of some of you who accompany them. So, Shashi, it's your stage.
You are the only one who can read your handwriting.
Okay. Can I invite the director to please He's the director of Jagran Institute of Management and founder director of Research Institute of Computer Sciences. He worked for Birla Rayon in Thailand before that. Suresh Agarwal and his wife Madhulika Agarwal. The next one is Ajit Kapoor. He retired as the VP and CIO of Lockheed Martin in Phoenix, Arizona, and he now lives retired life in Florida. which everybody else would want to address. Ajit Kapoor. I see Angad Singh is the next, but he is not here right now, so we'll skip him.
He was here?
But he's not here right now, so he went away. Next is Ashish Agarwal. He retired as Director of R&D and Technology, transfer at American Cyanamid. And then he is now at Hexel Corporation and Birla Acrylic. Ashok Singhal is the next one here. He retired as President Consulting at Aries, Lewis, Norris and May. Next one is Asaf Hussain. He's the Director of Fuel Management at Emirates Nuclear Engineering Corporation, Abu Dhabi. Lal Verma is retired as Deputy Director of CPRI Roorkee and now Director of Private Engineering Institutes in Greater Noida. And Mrs. Bhatnagar, Mrs. Geeta Bhatnagar. We have Deepak Joshi, who retired as one of the owners of the jewelry industry in Mumbai. Is he here? Yeah, there he is. We have Deepak Singh Kuar. He was a founder, member of New Magic, New Audio Chips, manufacturing in the IT industry. Then we have our distinguished alumnus in our batch, Dev Shukla. He is the founder owner of ITSI, Innovative Technology Solutions Incorporated, environmental construction projects all over the world, and his wife Shama Shukla. Ghanshyam Das Verma. He is retired from ITI Technology Company in Australia and now owner of a retail supermarket in Australia. Gopal Das Gupta. He was with Foster Wheeler and now the VP Business Development with ITSI. And his lovely wife Susha. Gopal, can you accept that purse for her? Gopal, is it a purse for her? For Susha?
Yes, yes. Can I take it?
Yes. And we have Kawaljeet Singh Ahluwalia. He's a project manager at EPRI for nuclear reactors, formerly with Foster Wheeler. Narendra Kumar Dhiman. He's the founder owner of Proteus Engineering, representing several US and European engineering companies in India now. And his wife. Pannalal Mota. He is the MD of the Bright Engineering Works in Calcutta. He is a steel rolling mill and the bright bars for domestic and export market. He's a two Prabal Roy. He's he's a DuPont and working for CF, chose not to come. Prabhat Kumar Srivastava works for the Fertilizer Corporation of India and his wife.
Madhur Srivastava.
Please come.
We have Pradeep Agarwal. He is one of the most vocal members of our group.
To say the least.
He is the director of the Institute of Management Sciences in Noida, and his lovely. Everyone knows Prashant Kumar Agarwal, who spent 20 years here at IIT Kanpur as a professor in mechanical engineering, and now he's professor at College of Engineering in Pune. 30 years. Take it back. We have Raj Singh and his wife Satya Singh, also a professor of material sciences and engineering in University of Cincinnati for 30 years, and recently changed to University of Oklahoma as the chair professor of material science. Where's Satya? She abandoned you? Okay. We have first like you always do. Ram Narayan Tiwari. He is retired as director for solid waste. He started at EIL India and now worked at Broward County in Florida, environmental engineering.
And my wife.
And your wife, Mrs. Tiwari. I don't know.
Kamini.
We have our next batchmate Ravi Khanna, who went to MIT, and he was the CEO of Kodak India. Later died as GM of two multinational divisions of Kodak. His lovely wife Asha could not make it. I hope she does like us.
She'd rather be here. Something else.
Sameer Banerjee has come to India for this reunion, but he's in Lucknow with his mother. So I don't know whether
He'll be here
somebody would
tomorrow.
like to get
He's
a
going to be here
sash.
tomorrow.
Huh?
He'll be here tomorrow.
He'll be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Can somebody get a sash for him and give it to him tomorrow?
Well, maybe Santosh.
I'll take it.
Santosh? Right?
I'm next, so I'll take it.
Okay, all right.
Take two.
Santosh Kumar. He is retired after 30 years at B&E Systems, and he chose to stay in the technical area. He gave up the managerial post and stayed. And I congratulate you for that. You have to take purse also for Sushma. Because she came to India for this union and couldn't make it. Santosh,
Thank
carry
you.
this purse
She
for
came
you.
halfway.
You get half the person.
Next one is me, myself. I guess I'll come down and. My wife has. She went home.
You can collect the purse.
Yeah, I'd like the purse for her.
Thank you.
At least your wife has to be here. At least your wife has to be here.
So she had to go home. Then Satya Prakash Agarwal, software project engineer with IBM for the last 20 years, at Rochester, and now he is currently in Bangalore for 1 year. And his wife Jyotsna Agarwal. They just became Nana and Nani. Then we have Shailendra Rastogi, the only person who I can say I'm taller to. He was with the Space Systems Lorel in California, still is there. He's a principal supervisor for the space station designs. Shravan Agarwal, retired as VP of Nordell Networks, Toronto, and now he's very active in the local temple society in Toronto. Shravan, your wife hasn't come? Shravan, आपको धर्मपत्नी नहीं है?
We won't answer that.
Okay.
Very dangerous to answer.
Then we have Shri Narayan Gupta and his wife Shashi, 25 years with Bank of New York Mellon as the Senior VP Compliance.
First year goodie.
Subhash Chandra Garg. He's the founder of Pi Networks in California after a successful career at Loral as a satellite systems engineer for 30 years. Subhash Gupta and his wife Manju Gupta. And he did his MS from McMaster University in Hamilton. And then he came back to India and he's running his entrepreneurial manufacturing unit in Kanpur for steel homewares. We have Suraj Prakash Rawal. He's a material scientist at National Renewable Energy Labs in Denver, Colorado. Uday Bose. He's retired as GM marketing for Reeves Cotton and now is very active in building better housing societies. Vikram Kumar Kindra. He's perhaps known to IIT Kanpur more than anyone else in our batch. He's professor of aerospace engineering in Texas A&M, and now he's instrumental in the exchange program between Texas A&M and IITK. We have Ren Prakash Jain, who graduated from IIT and then he went to work in Kota, JK Synthetics, and he's worked there for 30 years, and he's here. He didn't come to the last meeting. Again, that completes all the people who are attending, and I must add we had 78 people who graduated, 11 of us are no longer with us. The 67 remain, we have 40 approximately here today. Mrs. Manna for giving us all the things. Correct. I'm sorry, Chitrangan. I apologize. Chitrangan Bhatnagar, 25 years at DuPont, Virginia. Currently, he is the fiber optic technology manager at DuPont. Chitrangan, apologies once again. That's okay. My wife. Your wife is not there. You have to take a purse for her then. Gita. Yeah, give her please purse for Gita. Well, thank you, Professor Manna and Mrs. Manna, for this lovely function. Maneem, thanks. Sudhir, thanks very much.
Is that so? What is next? Presentation? Okay, so we sit for sorry, please be here. Don't go
Close this part of the function or delivery, what we call it, with a vote of thanks from Dr. Mukesh Sharma.
Sir, good evening. I've been given the responsibility to propose a vote of thanks, and I would like to begin to start to thank to the entire batch of 62, those who have made it here, and we are grateful to you. And without you, this event probably would not even could be thought of. And what I want to say is that the whole world is being represented here because we have the people both from the northern hemisphere as well as from the southern hemisphere. So that's nice to have. So for that reason, we like to especially thank Mr. G.D. Verma, who came all the way from Australia for this particular event. Further, it's also important from the what we have seen is a tremendous support that we got from the Directorate, the Office of the DRPG, especially the Transport Division, and as well as the VH Management. You see all these arrangements that have been made, there have been the great support from the Institute and the Institute Authority. Let me also thank the head of departments which are not here. They came in the morning, and you know this is a busy schedule for all of them, end of the semester, sending out the grades and all. We also like to thank all the head of departments. There have been several students involved in this particular event, and some of them will be meeting them tomorrow, in spite of the, you know, they might have some exam here or there. So, but you would meet them, and I would also like to thank them because they agreed to come in spite of the time, which is a little difficult for them as of now. Before I go on, you all will agree with me that we like to thank Mr. Hishi Singhania, who made the entire thing possible.
And C.L. Agarwal.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Agarwal. And also Mr. Singhania is the Vice President of the Alumni Association, so we got all the support, otherwise also from him representing your batch actually.
You can thank us. Right?
But as I'm ending towards things, I would like to thank the staff of the Alumni Association.
Yes.
That has done all the all the lightings, all the regiments, everything has been done largely by the Alumni Association staff. We have been just, you know, we just came to know that things have been arranged. So that's, in that sense, probably we were very least honored. So I'd like to thank Nidhi Verma, Lalita, Kriti, Jitendra, and Pravesh. Those were the staff of the And as I'm coming to end, the Alumni Association very much would like to thank the ladies, the wives who have come. I'm also a married man. I know if they had not agreed, we would not have been here. That's for sure. And those the ladies have not come, we also like to thank them because they let their husbands come today to see them.
They were all happy.
Before I end, I request all of you, in fact, to thank Mrs. Manna. She came down in a very short notice. I know just a minute, 10 minutes call. Thank you very much for having come here for such a short notice. I think that brings to an end to the vote of thanks. But don't forget Mukesh Sharma, the Treasurer. We need. No, I'll talk to you later about it.
We'll take a small break here, reorganize the stage a little bit, and then proceed with the presentations from the deans, which will talk about
A little poetry which goes with the different pictures. So, and also the poetry is like in a simile fashion. Where's the next? I'm going to look at Okay. Kedar Tandon, J.P. Bansal, J.S. Agarwal. The poetry is the bottom part, and it is like a simile. When I say Makhana means sansar, and when I say Saki means jindagi, and Hala means jeene ki ichha, and Bala means jindagi. Bala, you know, Madhubala, Bala means jindagi. And I will have a stranger for each slide, and those equivalent words will be there. So if somebody wants to see what it is. So see, I don't know how to sing, so I just read it. इस मैखाने के प्रस्थान द्वार पर दोस्तों हम सब मस्तानों की लाइन लग रही है साकी की हालत बड़ी प्यारी हमारे हाथों से छूट जाने को धीरे-धीरे उतावली हो रही है Basically, we are saying that we are all getting together, standing next to the end of this life, and so हमारे हाथ से जीने की इच्छा साकी की बड़ी प्यारी is getting very eager to get. Yeah. So anyway, and title I have was We Miss You, Mere Dost. presentation. This is Sridhar, Rajendra Kumar, and Ramesh Arora. In this one, चलो हम सब बैठकर मौज से पिए हाला means enjoying life. चलो हम सब बैठकर मौज से पिए हाला, साथी की अदाओं पर कुछ और झूमे हम, क्यों न रहें जिंदा दिल भर के तब तलक और टकराएं जाम एक दूसरे के हाथों हम. Means we are all gonna go there, but meantime why don't we do this? I could not get a picture of Badwar, Tejwani and Sharad Agrawal, individual one. I got Naresh Patras, the last minute from RN Singh, so I just added his picture. It had Sridhar, Badwar, Batra, Aidya and Arora ji, चले गए मैं खाने से पीकर अपनी हाला, टंडन बंसल राजेंद्र और तेजवानी भी, शरद व GS के साथी को बाई वाला. This is the one of the group we have, and in this I just wanted to point out people who are not with us. Rajendra Kumar, Gopal Tejwani, and Ramesh Arora. It gives very eerie feeling that we are all there, and then some of them are no more with us. So life is so unpredictable. याद आते हैं ये दोस्त अक्सर हमको और जीवन की झलकियाँ दिखाई दे जाती हैं. उनको गले लगाने की कसक अब हमको सिर्फ मित्रशासी होकर रह जाती है. Another group picture we have Rajendra Kumar, Gopal Tejwani, and Ramesh Arora. ना कहा उनसे जब वो यहाँ मैखाने में, ना कहा उनसे जब थे वो यहाँ मैखाने में, इस देर अलाइव. क्या कीमत थी उनकी हमारे जीवन में, अब सिर्फ हाथ मलकर रह जाते हैं हम, क्यों ना टकराए क्या करे जाम जीवन में. You know, we don't pay attention then when we are all together, that in the end it might happen that we'll this is again group and many people pointed out. कहाँ हो मेरे दोस्त अब, कैसे हो तुम सब, तय है तुम हो हमारे दिलो दिमाग में. तुम्हें क्या जल्दी थी हमसे रूठ जाने की, तुम्हें क्या जल्दी थी हमसे रूठ जाने की, कोई बड़ी गलती हमसे छपटी नहीं देने में. Means, you know, we did not really could tell you that how much we like you, love you. This is we had in our third year, we have an election. This is Budwar's picture in there, and this is the Tejwani's picture. This is on the left side is before the election, and the right side is after election. So this is we miss you, मेरे दोस्त, जाने के बाद छूने की इच्छा होती है तेरी याद आने पर, तेरी में छोटी छोटी बातें जो तंग करती थी, देती हैं मुस्कान अब उनकी याद आने पर. No, it's little things which used to bug us, but now we think of it and we just मुस्कान आ जाती है. This is another set of pictures where we had some American students. We stayed photos. You know, I always get an eerie feeling that some of us are no more. You know. तो दोस्तों हमको बस आज यही कहना है, I love you, हम पूरे नहीं यहाँ तेरे बिना. This is for all of us. तो दोस्तों हमको बस यही कहना है, I love you, हम पूरे नहीं हैं यहाँ तेरे बिना. जीवन ना होता जो बिताया है हमने, इतना मस्त ना होता मैं खाना तेरे बिना. मैं खाना नहीं, दुनिया है ना अगर. And this last one. So उठाओ जाम हाथ में ले दोस्ती की हाला, झूम झूम के अब साथी को गले से लगाओ, साथी को जिंदगी को, नाम साथी जिंदगी को. So उठाओ जाम हाथ में ले दोस्ती की हाला, झूम झूम के अब साथी को गले से लगाओ, न गिरे जिंदगी की एक भी बूंद पिए बिना. शराब जिंदगी की शराब, न गिरे जिंदगी की एक भी बूंद पिए बिना, ऐसा ना हो टूटे जाम तुम प्यासे ही रह जाओ. But that's it. So this is just I wrote. You have given. When I thought we were going to have this presentation, so I sat down and wrote this, and I think most of us, maybe all of us, have the similar feeling for those friends who passed. Thank you.
I'm Manindra Agrawal, Professor in Computer Science Department and currently in Resource Planning and Generation. And for a very short period, I'm also officiating as the Dean of Faculty Affairs. So this presentation has come out of a lot of discussions that we have been having in the Institute over the last 3 years. 2009 was the Golden Jubilee year of the Institute, 2009-10. And at that time, this idea came that it's about time that now that the Institute has completed 50 years, that we should lay down the path for the future growth of the Institute. And Professor Dande, the previous director, had a very nice characterization of the first 5 decades of the Institute. The first decade, the 60s, where you belonged, was the decade of tremendous growth. That is just the building of the Institute. In 10 years, the Institute grew from nothing to establishing itself as the premier institution in the country. The second decade, 70s, was a decade of turmoil. A lot of it, I don't know if you were aware of this, there were a lot of agitations on campus. The overall environment in the country also was of a bit of a turmoil, the Naxalite movement and many other movements happening in the 70s. They also reflected at the Institute. So a lot of churn happened in the 70s. It led to, at least partly it was responsible for responsible for many of the distinguished faculty on campus to go elsewhere. Then 80s was a decade of consolidation, that after the turmoil, the sort of institute settled down and tried to regroup, so to say. But the 90s came, which was a decade of serious financial crunch because of the Indian government faced serious economic hardships. It cut down funding of IITs in a significant way, and also asked IITs to start looking for funding elsewhere. And that's what was the characteristic of the decade, so to say. There was, in fact, one month or a couple of months where Institute had to actually borrow money to pay salary to its staff. And it led to many, in any moment of crisis, of course, there are some good things also happen. So it sort of oriented the Institute, and we have made it realize that we should not completely depend on the government funding, and we should be looking for other sources of funding. And alumni, many of them came forward and helped the Institute, and has been helping the Institute since then. And the last decade, the 2000s, was a decade of regrowth of the Institute, when the more money flowed in both from external sources as well as from the government, because the Indian economic scenario changed substantially. And so the result of that you can see now on campus. There are lots of new buildings, better infrastructure, better maintenance, and so on. But the big challenge for the next decade, or this decade, we are already 2 years into this decade, is what next? And that's what led to this this thought process, and this presentation is, I'm trying to summarize some of the thoughts we have about the future course of the Institute. So as I said, this exercise started in 2009 during the Golden Jubilee period. It was an initiative taken both by alumni and faculty, and a number of meetings were held, and one simple target was laid down for the institute to be the global leader in science and technology by the year 2030. So that's a tough ask, because at the moment IIT Kanpur is surely one of the premier institutions in the country, but globally, if one looks at the standard matrix in which the institutions are measured, we don't come in the top, and actually we are far from the top. So if we want to establish ourselves in the global landscape, we have to make a lot of improvements. Professor Manna has already, a little earlier, highlighted some of those concerns or some of those issues. So that's a vision, which is a very ambitious and nice vision to have. The question is, how do we achieve it? And before we decide how to achieve it, we have to understand where we lack. What are the parameters in which we are falling short? So we requested some of our alumni who happened to be in McKinsey at the time to help us in making a review of the system inside and take a outsider's perspective, look at the universities elsewhere, both in the country and outside the country, and do a comparison of the IIT Kanpur with the other universities. And some of these, this was the conclusion of the McKinsey study, as well as the discussion between the faculty and alumni, that to achieve this global leadership, we should sort of do a two-phase process in next 10 years, by year 2020, which also nicely coincides with the Diamond Jubilee year of the Institute, to become an Asian leader, and another 10 years, we should work hard to become a global leader. I will not spend too much time in the details. I just want to sort of highlight the major points here. And comparatively, if one looks at the IIT Kanpur compared with other universities like MIT, Stanford, and some Indian universities, Tsinghua in China, and US and Singapore, we are fairly well in terms of teaching, the quality of students, that goes without saying. So these parameters we are comparable with the best in the world. However, in terms of research effectiveness, we are far behind. And some of the parameters listed here, for example, publications per faculty per year is about 10 odd in the top institutions, whereas in Kanpur is 1 per faculty per year. That's the average. This was of course 2009. Since then, things have grown up because there are several initiatives which have been put in place, but still we are substantially behind the numbers in the top universities, and it is not, the situation actually slightly worse than this, because we are not looking at the quality of publication, we are just looking at the numbers. Okay, and in terms of funding, again, the budget of IIT Kanpur is, again, compared to top universities in the world, is significantly smaller. When MIT budget in 2009 was $2,500 million, and IIT Kanpur budget in 2009 was $45 million. So it's almost two orders of magnitude smaller. Of course, in the US, the cost of living and so on is much higher, so it's not a fair comparison. But still, it gives some points to compare. And further, more interestingly, if you look at the green part of this that circle representing IIT Kanpur, that's about 78% of the funding comes from the government, directly as a grant from the Ministry of Human Resources. And in comparison with Berkeley, which is a state university, but that only gets 21%. So they have substantial other sources of revenue. Again, the comparison here is not completely fair because a lot of this other money, for example, in the US also comes from the government, but through NSF or other governmental agencies. But still, it is interesting to compare these figures and realize that some of the points are very different from other universities. Now, what we concluded was in order to bring about this major step up in the institute, there are 6 categories in which one needs to focus on. Teaching effectiveness, with all these new models of teaching which are coming up. I hope that Professor Sanghi, Dean of Academic Affairs, will talk about it a bit. Research effectiveness, again, that goes without saying. We already see we are well behind the research in terms of global parameters. Indian economical and societal impact. That's very important because if you want to be a global leader, we cannot be a global leader by solving problems of the West, which is what happens many times, not all the time, but many times. We have to define our own problems, which are grounded in Indian reality, because India will, as a country, has so many challenges, so many interesting problems, which can be solved. Many of them can be solved using novel technological ideas. So those are the things we have to focus on, and that's where we can establish ourselves as a global leader. Because we have, in fact, Kanpur being where it is, we have even more direct access to these challenging problems. Just step out of the gate and you have a whole lot of problems staring us in the face. So that's an opportunity which we should work on and ensure that we come up with some very interesting solutions. Governance and our governance structures have been established long time ago, where the numbers on campus are very small, both in terms of faculty and the students. There has been a dramatic increase in student strength, so we have to find slightly better models of governance catering to this new reality. Funding again goes without saying, because if we have to be a global leader, we will require almost a global level of funding. We cannot have a very small amount of funding and still hope to be a global leader. And alumni collaboration, which is also very important to us, because our alumni are spread all over the world. They have all done fantastically well. They have a whole wealth of knowledge that we need to tap in and ensure that we benefit as an institution from this storehouse of knowledge, as well as their the alumni who have done very well. They can also help us in raising resources. Okay, so some of the numbers I'll just skip over. So I think what I'll now come down to is 4 key targets that I would like to list out. These targets will not guarantee that we achieve global leadership, but these are essential for us to even think of achieving global leadership. Increase faculty strength substantially. I'll come to specific numbers in a moment. Provide them with excellent infrastructure. We need to have much more postgraduate, many more good postgraduate students on the campus, as well as more heterogeneous population of students. Right now, all our student body is essentially from India. We would like to make it more international and raise resources to fund this expansion. So, if you look at the numbers for faculty, so here is the one breakpoint in the 20-year program was at 2020. So we have just sort of charted this out until 2020. That currently we have about 358 faculty on campus, and by 2020 we would like to reach 500. this is log scale, so the curves are looking a little funny. Number of students, well, undergraduate students are about 3,300 currently. We would like to maintain that number. But number of postgraduate students, which are about 2,000, we again want to substantially increase. Number of international students, again, we want to substantially increase. Of course, we already are in some ways, in some situations, or some places, infrastructure is very good, but there are, again, as Professor Manna said, that there are certain departments where infrastructure is seriously in short supply. So we need to invest substantially into increasing this infrastructure. A very simple calculation, so that we need over 50,000 square meter of academic space in addition to what we have now, which is about 150,000. We are planning to create a major research park, about which probably Dean R&D will say something more, spanning 30,000 square meter. Residential space, which goes along with this increase in numbers. And this another initiative we have taken, that we have acquired land, about 5 acres of it in Noida. And we are about to start construction of a center there. The plan is to have a mini convention center where which we can use to organize workshops, conferences, outreach activities, put a small guest house also there. And all of this will require substantial amount of funds. We do hope to, we are working really with the ministry, with our plans, and trying to convince them to give us more money to fund this expansion. But what is clear is that we have to tap other sources of funding as well. So we have proposed establishment of a Diamond Jubilee Fund for the institute, with a target of raising 600 crore rupees by the year 2020 under this fund. And this is beyond what the ministry, money will collect from the ministry. Very top level breakup of this is about 160 crores for faculty initiatives. Major one of them is providing incentive to the new faculty to join. We are already paying to every new faculty who joins the institute an additional salary of 25,000 rupees per month for the first 3 years from our own resources, not from the government resources. And we would like to create more such initiatives in order to attract very good faculty to the campus. The research park I already mentioned, that's again a very ambitious project costing about 300 crores. And we would like to raise resources for establishing a research park. There are a number of student initiatives. President Jimpana might want to talk about that a little bit, but that comes around 70 odd crores. And infrastructure, Noida Center, and one faculty club, again, which will be very useful for the faculty on campus. About 110 crores. And the other expansion in terms of infrastructure we are planning to get from the